Hello, collective. I wanted to drop in with you all on this Aries New Moon and just give you the download, give you the 411, let you know what energy is coming in and how that is going to be playing out as we journey through the next 4 weeks of this lunar cycle that is kicking off in this new moon in Aries. Aries is the initiator, right? It is the first sign in the zodiac. And I just think this is such cool energy, okay? And it's kind of interesting because I've been seeing, some stuff online, people kind of, tapping into the solar flare energy and focusing more on what could be kind of the conflict side of this lunar cycle. But, I'm not really buying into that. I have kind of a different view. And these are very transformational energies at play, actually. And it doesn't have to be any kind of disruptive, drama-filled, negative experience. It's really all about the way that you show up and work with this energy and understanding the opportunity that's really on offer here. Now, I love this because April 1st is also April Fool's Day, right? And the Fool is the card of Aries. So I just love this wild Fool energy. And the Fool is the zero, right? It's the starting point. It's the initiation point in the major arcana of the tarot, just like Aries is the initiator in the zodiac. So the opportunity to really kind of write your own script, transform your storyline, close old cycles, move into a new inspiring direction that will kind of like wake you up to life again. We're talking like revolutionary stuff, inner revolutionary stuff that also results in a revolution of your external circumstances, new places, new faces, new experiences, okay? There's a lot on offer. Very wild card energy, lots of potential for adventure and enthusiasm. When was the last time you felt a sense of excitement and wonder about life? Not fear, okay? Not anxiety, not trepidation, but just enthusiasm and wonder and that kind of joyful, youthful spirit. Maybe not since you were a kid, right? And that's significant too, because there's a lot of childhood stuff coming up. This new moon in Aries is conjunct Mercury and Chiron. And Chiron is currently in Aries, okay? It has been since February of 2019. And it's been doing, a retrograde journey in Aries too. Right now, it's not retrograde; it is direct. So we need to, make hay while the sun shines, as they say. Okay. We have a real opportunity to transform our deepest wounds. Chiron is about diving in to the place where it hurts, and it's like Rumi said, the wound is where the light gets in. All right. And right now, if we have the courage, if we use that, that big emperor energy that is Aries, and we have the courage and the stoicism, to show up and do the work that needs to be done, to not avoid the places that hurt, to not avoid the pain, to not put a band-aid on the wound, but instead to go right down to the roots of the wounds and heal them, which may mean excavating your past a bit, and looking into your deep roots, your childhood roots, what things were like in your family when you were growing up, how those patterns have been inherited, going even deeper back, right? Looking at ancestral roots. What wounds have you inherited from your bloodline? How are they playing out, in your life now? How have they played out generationally? And the collective wounds, there's been a lot of upheaval. And there is a lot of fear and uncertainty on the planet right now. People don't like feeling out of control. And certainly in the shadow aspect, if you think of Aries energy, if you think of Emperor in reverse, I mean, we do see some of that playing out, right? I'm not even going to give mention to the latest debacle. It doesn't deserve it. So if you're looking for me to talk about, silly things like what went down at the Oscars, you're not at the right place, because I don't give a fuck, okay? There's real shit going on in the world, And that's what we need to be holding space for right now. We can't get distracted, but we have seen it playing out, the way that power can be distorted, the way that anger can be projected, the way that that can cause further division and deepen the wounds, right? And so we have an opportunity collectively to really start to unravel that, but it begins with us. It begins with us. The revolution is always within. It happens inside first, and then it spirals out from you, and it influences everything around you. It has a ripple effect. You may think you're insignificant. You may feel like there's nothing you can do. There absolutely is. It begins with you. It begins with you doing the healing work. And with Chiron and Aries, we're looking at the wound of the self. The wound of the self. So it's really about this opportunity of coming back home to yourself and really excavating who that is. Do you even know? How long have you been disconnected from the truest essence of yourself? What got in the way of you really being able to feel rooted in yourself, to know that you belong, to know that you belong? There's a lot of people struggling with a feeling of not belonging, not knowing a sense of home. And a lot of it involves them not feeling rooted within themselves. They feel disconnected from themselves. And naturally, if you feel disconnected from yourself, it makes the unknown more frightening, doesn't it? So we really do have an opportunity to do some profound healing work in this lunar cycle. But that brings in the other heavy hitter connected to this new moon, which is new moon conjunct Mercury. And Mercury is also conjunct Chiron. So the healing that needs to happen right now is all about communication. It is, of course, about speaking our truths, and giving a voice to our feelings and maybe saying some tough things, you know. But even more so, it's the ability to listen. And do you have the courage to do that? Do you have the courage to receive another's truth? To hear about a shared experience from their perspective, to see it through their eyes? This is how we develop compassion, right? It also means we have to kind of drop our story, right? And just get down to the essence of the feeling that's present. What is the core feeling? What is the core feeling that is influencing the places where we are in conflict, where we can't find agreement, where we struggle to tap into a sense of peace or access that healing that we need? It begins by listening. And as with all things, first listening to ourselves, taking time to just be quiet and sit with ourselves and let whatever needs to emerge. Tuning into our intuition, paying attention to how we feel about things instead of what we think about them. There's a difference. You know, to feel, you have to really be embodied. If you want to feel like you belong, first you have to make yourself at home in your earth suit. You know, you need to drop into your body. This is your home. It is your anchoring. You know, self-care will do you wonders to get you through this time, for sure. And we're not going to focus on all this energy. There's other energy in play, but this is an important piece of what's coming up. There's a lot of healing work to be done in this particular lunar cycle. You know, it's leading up to, you know, the start of eclipse season. So, and that's always significant. There's not a lot of aspects playing into this particular new moon either. It's very simple, and that's because the work that needs to be done can feel somewhat complex. So, you know, the universe is being kind with us. But there is one fixed star that will be in the orb of the new moon. And that's Deneb Alganubi. And it is in the constellation of Cetus, the whale, which is also known as the sea monster. And that particular fixed star, Deneb, actually is located in the tail of the sea monster constellation, you know. And I think of sea monsters, and what comes to mind for me is the Loch Ness monster. My favorite monster, my favorite story of, you know, a creature that is shrouded in mystery, right? Everybody has something. My mom, she's like all about Bigfoot, you know. She so wants to see a Sasquatch. She wants to do that some point in her life. She wants to take a trip and go and look for Bigfoot. But for me, it's always been the Loch Ness monster. So I love that sea monster energy is coming into play with this new moon, because that takes me right back to childhood. I first just became just fascinated by Nessie in my childhood. And, you know, to me, I've always had this fondness around the Loch Ness Monster, not fear. Like, I don't know, I associate the Loch Ness Monster with this sweetness and this kind of magical, mystical energy. It's not something that's frightening to me. I would love to see Nessie, you know? But I think, you know, that's the thing. Like, what makes a monster? A monster is something we don't understand, right? We've never encountered it before, so we don't know if it's dangerous or not. We don't know if it could hurt us or not. We don't know if it's something that we even should fear, and because of that, it's frightening. It's more our ideas and the stories that we construct around it that make it a fearful thing, right? So that energy is really what's coming into play, all right? Sea monsters, you know, they can dive deep. They go real deep, right? To the places in the ocean where we can't even access. They're so deep. It's like alien to us. It's like outer space on Earth, right? And that's where the fear is. The fear is around what's deep, what we can't see, what's beneath the surface, and that's that childhood stuff. That's those wounds that have their roots in our distant past. That's the memory that, you know, echoes and reverberates through our blood song from our ancestors. And the wounds that they carried, the wounds that they held. And we can be the medicine. We can be the medicine that brings peace to the bloodline and for future generations to come. But again, it all begins at home within us. And being willing to face our fears. To be willing to look at that person that you have a conflict with and say, maybe there's something here that I don't understand. And I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to take in another's experience. Instead of searching for being right, I want to seek understanding. And that's such a big key, you know, with this energy coming in. Yeah, such a big key. It's still deep energy, okay? Like, even though this new moon is occurring in the constellation of Aries, technically, it's actually in the sign of Pisces, and that's because of the precession of the equinoxes, you know. So we have that watery energy, that oceanic energy in tandem with that fiery Mars energy, okay? They're like opposites, and yet at the same time, two halves of the same whole. It's that like yin yang energy, right? The receptive feminine that is the water, the active masculine that is the fire. You know, the fire is like that initiating spark. It's the avenue. It makes the way. And that water is like the creative force that comes through, and it like nurtures all of life. So we need this Aries energy. We need this initiatory energy to like burn through the bullshit. Okay? To just burn through all those obstacles, everything that is blocking the flow of energy in our life and is preventing us from actualizing our visions. That shit that's holding us back from taking that leap, because that's what this Aries energy is about, right? This big fool energy happening right here on April Fools. That Fool card, you know? What adventure are you holding yourself back from having? What risk is your heart calling you to take, but you're holding it at bay out of fear of how it may go down? Where are you playing it too safe, man? Where are you fencing yourself in? Where do you feel drawn to go, to explore, to discover? You got to clear out what's holding you back, and it has its roots way back, you know, in your childhood. Maybe you had a lot of dreams when you were a kid, but you were always told that, you know, that's a pipe dream. Get a real job, you know? Or maybe you didn't have a nurturing environment where you weren't supported and recognized for your creativity, for your abilities, for your gifts, for your Ashe, that essence that is you, that brings so much blessing into the world. Just by you coming up and sharing what is a natural extension of your spirit, that which feeds your soul will also feed the whole, okay? And to get that, you're going to have to do some deep healing work. So work with that Chiron energy so you can take advantage of this adventurous spirit that's coming in with the Aries New Moon. So you can do some block busting, man, so you can open your road, and so you can head off on a new adventure that's in alignment with your passion and with your purpose, and will totally transform your reality from the inside out. Whatever's holding you back, man. If there's a conversation you need to have, if there's an apology you need to make, if there is something you need to confess, if there is some kind of therapy you need to get, if there is some kind of work to be done, a debt to be paid, whatever it is, fucking do your work. Face it. Stop letting it shroud you from seeing all possibility, man. And step into the potential that's on offer with this new moon. Don't listen to the doom and gloom, okay? Yes, can people kind of fall into more kind of projection patterns at this time? Absolutely. Are you going to be part of the problem, or are you going to be part of the solution? You get to have a choice. Make the right choice. Choose freedom. Freedom from the bullshit, rising above it and heading off, you know, in the direction that is really like inspiring you. And if you're afraid, so what? Fuck it. Face the fear, move through it. You'll be glad that you did. It'll bring so many good things your way. This is definitely like an energy that only you can hold yourself back. All right? Only you can hold yourself back. Do you really want to do that anymore? I don't think you do. You know? So work with the Chiron energy. You know, Chiron is all about, you know, working with astrology and working with the healing arts, working with tarot. Working with holistic medicine, exploring new avenues for healing. You know, bring that in. Increase your self-care. But most of all, do that thing that you've been really afraid to do. Use all that, like, you know, all that bravado, all of that big boss energy of Aries, you know, to like pull up your big boy or your big girl pants and do what needs to be done. It was 26:26 on the clock when I said that. That's 8:8, okay? 8. 8 is the number of manifestation. It's about stepping into power. It's about actualization, like actually bringing it into material reality. Abundance energy, man. If you do the work, if you do what needs to be done, if you face that thing that you're most afraid of, and you just show up and be willing to be a beginner, because isn't that the Fool energy, right? The Fool doesn't know everything. The Fool just has a dream, right? Sometimes head in the clouds, you know, don't forget, you know, the lessons you've learned in your life, but don't let those lessons hold you back because you think that you're just going to keep repeating the same patterns of the past. 27 on the clock when I said that. That's 9. Those cycles are coming to a close. This is about living in a whole new way. So stop letting fear hold you back. Pick up that phone, you know? Call the person that you need to talk to. Hop on a fucking plane. Go and see them face to face, you know? Look them in the eyes if you need to. Maybe look at yourself in the mirror. Take accountability. Show up. Share, not from a place of blaming, you know, but just owning your experience and expressing a willingness to hear what others' experience was. Let you go to those places where you can really experience a true healing and a laying to rest of these energies that have held you back for too long. You know, I'm getting a hit that there's a lot of people that will be entering into recovery in this cycle. You know, healing some addictions, whether that's related to unhealthy relationship dynamics, codependency, leaving abusive situations, to substance abuse, alcohol. Even related to health, you know, disordered eating behavior, just unhealthy patterns, you know. It really is a good time to go into recovery. And whether that is about going and, connecting with a therapist or entering a program, or even just really taking accountability for the healing work you need to do and not avoiding it anymore and diving in. There's an opportunity for real lasting healing with this new moon. And when you clear that energy out, you're going to open up a door that leads to brand new possibility in your life. And it was 30:33 on the clock when I said that. So you got spiritual support on your side. Call on it. And that's not just from, the spirit realm or your guides or your totems or however you relate to that, but also people that you share a spiritual connection with that can really show up for you. So call on those people. Connect with people. And make the most of this lunar cycle of healing. Blessings to all of you.